Welcome. This video is a walkthrough of Ivy Tech's dual credit application. This application is for high school students who are taking dual credit classes in their high school or their local career center, or for high school students who intend to take classes at Ivy Tech. So this will ensure that you have an Ivy Tech account, that you are in the category of a current high school student. So we are starting at ivytech.dualenroll.com. If you are coming back to DualEnroll after already completing an application, you will notice that things look a little bit differently this year. So you'll have the chance to choose that you are a student. So click the student menu. If you already have a DualEnroll account, then you'll need to log in using the information that you previously provided on your application. If you're not quite sure what that information is, then you have a few links down here where you could click to access your username, reset your password, do those type of things. But if you are a brand new student, we're going to choose the Create Student Account option on this page to begin the application process. So you'll begin by selecting your high school. This drop-down list has a list of all our high schools in the state of Indiana. So you should find an option there for your school. The easiest way to search is to click that first box and then start typing, and you could find your high school through that menu. So that's the easiest way to narrow things down, or you could just find your school alphabetically on this list. You're going to create a password. Just make sure it is something that you will remember. And then go ahead and fill in all the required information. So anything with the red star is a required piece of information. So we do need your legal name on this application. This is a college application, so we need your legal name as it is on your identifying documents. So your legal first name. We do not need your middle name, but if you'd like to provide it, you can. Your legal last name in this case. For your date of birth, it does require a specific format, so it's easiest to just choose the calendar icon and go ahead and pick this off the calendar. So you'll have the options to narrow things down by year and then by month if you need to, and then you could select the correct date. So we're going to choose our date of birth. We do need your high school email on this blank. So if you are a high school student, you should have a school assigned email. So please put your high school email on this line. You will have an opportunity down the road to update your Ivy Tech information with a personal email prior to graduation if you choose to. So right now you're going to use your high school email. If you would like to include a cell phone number here, you can. The DualEnroll system does provide notifications via text and email. So if you would like to receive text notifications and get information via text, you could provide a number here as well. That is not required, so you could certainly leave that blank if you choose to. We're going to prove that we're not a robot. I'm going to go ahead and enter a number just to confirm the account today. When I create my account here, it is going to send an email to your student email that you use to confirm your account. If you provide a cell phone number, it is also going to provide a text message to the number that you have provided that will allow you to confirm your account via text message as well. So if you're in that boat, then you could confirm the account via text message like I'm doing here. If you did not receive that text message or you did not provide a phone number, then you have this option here. It'll let you know to just go check your email. If you didn't provide a phone number, it's going to just take you back to the login screen, but you need to go check your email for the email from DualEnroll that will contain a link to confirm this account. We're going to go ahead and confirm the account here, and it allows you to come back in and pick up the application. So your number or your name is already filled in here. If you have a preferred first name that you go by that's different from the first name listed here, your legal name, you could certainly enter that here. And then go ahead and fill in the rest of this information as appropriate. If at any point in this process you need to update this information, you do have the chance to do that prior to the application being submitted. After you submit this application, you will only be able to update certain information. You'll see over on the right-hand side, it'll show you the menus. Once things turn green, you're good to go on that menu. The one that you're on currently is orange. Menus that need to be completed yet are uncolored or kind of that grayed out color. So we will fill in our street address. This does need to be your street and not an email address. So your mailing address for your home, wherever you get your Amazon packages, make sure you put that there. It's going to confirm that address for you. So it's going to pop up a box to double check and see if that address exists in the U.S. Postal Service database. If it does, it's going to suggest the format for you. In this case, this is a fictional address, but I could go ahead and ask it to just use that address as adjusted. The next page is the student demographics page. This allows you to give us some information about your citizenship status. So if you are a U.S. citizen or a non-U.S. citizen, resident alien, that's going to give you some options there. If you indicate that you are not a U.S. citizen, it's going to ask you a few follow-up questions that just help with our processing of the application itself. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and choose U.S. citizen. Some demographic questions here. You could check whichever boxes make the most sense for you. And a brief college survey at the bottom of this page. So this is just asking about right now today, are you interested in attending college? Yes, no, maybe. How interested might you be in attending Ivy Tech? Just give us some information there. If you're thinking about college, are you thinking about 2-year, 4-year, or yeah? So this is just a brief college survey. Give us a little information about students. Click update to proceed. It's going to take you to the terms and conditions page. So this is the next spot in the menu. Some information here for you to read and review for Ivy Tech's dual credit terms and conditions. So read through that information. There are some links down here below to some of the policies that we might refer to in that. That also includes a link to our dual credit handbook. So that will give you access to all the policies related to dual credit students and coursework. After you've had a chance to read these, go ahead and click the boxes to confirm that you've read those and that you agree with those conditions. The next menu is our FERPA menu. So FERPA is the Federal Educational Rights and Privacy Act. It is a federal policy. It'll give you some information here about what that is. But effectively, that governs the types of information that we can share about you as a student with folks outside of your high school. So read through that policy. That's going to give you information about what FERPA is. And then we ask that you just type your name to verify that you've had a chance to read that. You're acknowledging here that you have the chance to review the FERPA. Click update. The next page is the release consent page. So FERPA tells us that we can only share information with your high school staff unless you give us the opportunity and your consent here to share it with anybody else outside of your high school. So if you know that your parent is probably going to want some information from Ivy Tech about how you're doing, you're going to need to give consent using this first button. And it'll let you know here exactly what types of information you are consenting for us to release information to. If you give consent, then you need to provide that information on who we are allowed to release information to down below. So it would be a good idea to list your parent or guardian, if you have a mentor or anyone else that might be interested in just checking in on your progress or who you might want to share information with or be able to call the college with questions on your behalf. You need to list them down below. If you choose to not give consent, then we would not be able to communicate with anybody if they would communicate or if they would reach out to the college about your account. So we'll go ahead and fill in some information here. Please give us their first name, their last name, and who they are to you. So mom, dad, parent, grandma, whatever makes the most sense there. Click update, and it's going to take you over to the parent contact information. So this is parent or guardian contact information. So the parent that you just listed there would be helpful to have here. We just need one contact information for each parent. You only need to list one parent or guardian on this page, though you can list more than one if you choose to. So give us their name, give us again who they are to you. Let us know how they would prefer to be contacted. Your parent will also receive notifications from DualEnroll about your dual credit registrations. So you can let us know if they prefer to receive those via email or text. So enter that information twice for email. If you do choose phone, it's going to default to the phone option and require that information. If you choose both, it's obviously going to require both pieces of information. If your address is the same as your parents', then just choose yes in this menu. It's not going to ask you to enter that information again. If you reside in a different resident than your parent, then we do ask for your parent address down here as well. So this would be your parent's address if it is different from your address. The next menu is the high school page. You've already had a chance to choose your high school. If you realize you've chosen the wrong high school for some reason, then you could certainly update that here through this menu. We do need your high school graduation year. So let us know what year you are currently planning to graduate high school. And then it's going to ask for your counselor. You may see folks listed here that you recognize. You may not see folks here that you recognize. It just depends on who is set up in our system. So you have the option to choose I don't know or not listed if you're not quite sure. Final question on this page asks if you are eligible for free and reduced lunch program. That is information that Ivy Tech is required to collect by the federal government. So you can let us know yes, no, or if you don't know, you have that option as well. Update that information. The final page of our application here is the student ID number. So Ivy Tech does require a unique student identifier to be able to process your application to make sure that we are not processing more than one application under one student or giving more than one student the same Ivy Tech ID number. So you have the option beginning this year to provide your student testing number to confirm that ID. So this is a number issued by the state of Indiana. Every student that is in a public school in Indiana should have a student test number. If you don't know what that is, then you can certainly check with your school counselor or administrator. Somebody at your high school should be able to provide that number for you. So if you don't know it today, go and do some checking. They should be able to provide that number for you. And then you could come right back to this and enter that student testing number here. Ivy Tech would also like to collect your social security number. You can see here that that social security number is important for your college and career journey because you are creating a college application today. Your social security number may be used down the road for financial aid. It may be used when you go to request your Ivy Tech transcript, and it may be used just to help make sure that the correct credits are transferring from one school to another. So if possible, providing your social security number down below is helpful as well. So at minimum, we need your student testing number. We would also like to receive your social security number if possible. Again, that just helps with matching your account to the correct student so that down the road we ensure beyond a shadow of a doubt that we have the right student on file when it comes to providing transcripts, etc. So if you are unable to provide a student testing number, so if you are a homeschool student, you may not have a student testing number assigned, you do have the option to check this box, and then it is not going to require that student testing number any longer. It is going to require a social security number. So you're required to provide one or the other personal identifier, either a student testing number or the social security number. Ideally, we would like to have both pieces of information for you. So if you have access to both, go ahead and enter them both here. That will make sure your account is fully ready to go. Click Update down below, and it's going to take you to the final confirmation page. So this is very important, it says up here. You want to verify all this information is correct before submitting your application. So review this information. If you see something that is incorrect, then you need to go back to that menu where you entered the information and correct it now before you submit your application. So review that carefully. If everything looks good on that page, go ahead and click I confirm that this information is correct, and then click Update. That is going to officially submit your application to Ivy Tech. A few things will happen after this. Within the next day or two, your application will process and you will receive an email from Ivy Tech letting you know that you are a dual credit student. It'll say, congratulations, you are an official Ivy Tech student. That email will contain your Ivy Tech student ID number. We call it the C number at Ivy Tech because it always starts with the letter C as in cat. That email will also contain some instructions for setting up a separate account, which is your Ivy Tech student My Ivy account. So if you are a high school student registering for classes in your high school, you will use the DualEnroll application to register for classes. You will use your My Ivy account to do things like complete the knowledge assessment if you need to complete an assessment to qualify for registration. In your My Ivy account, you can also find a variety of helpful resources like tutoring, like library resources. If you're registering for any classes through Ivy Tech, you'll find those options in My Ivy. And most importantly, you will use My Ivy to request your Ivy Tech transcript when it comes time to transferring your credits to another college. So it's really helpful to have your My Ivy account set up. That email you receive will have some instructions for how to do that, or you could see the My Ivy setup video in this playlist. We'll link to that video down in the description below as well. At this point in the dual enroll process, if you are ready to register for classes in your high school, you can go ahead and do that here. Otherwise, you can just click dismiss, and I'll have a walkthrough video for how to actually register for classes next up in the playlist.